Welcome to the line. Today, we follow a Ford F-150 from raw metal to a road-ready truck. No shortcuts, just the real steps that transform a bare shell into a finished vehicle you can drive home. Our tour begins in the stamping plant, where massive coils of sheet metal are unrolled, lubricated, and fed into transfer presses the size of a house. Each hit forms a panel: hoods, doors, roofs, fenders, and the pickup bed's outer skins. Precision dies shape, trim, and pierce features in a carefully sequenced dance. Robotic arms lift panels between stations. Cameras check edges and holes. A light tunnel reveals any surface waviness. The goal is consistency. Panels are racked and sent to the body shop. In the body shop, the F-150 takes form. A high-strength steel frame is built on a dedicated line, while the aluminum-intensive cab and bed structures are assembled nearby. Unlike traditional welding alone, trucks like the F-150 rely heavily on structural adhesives, self-piercing rivets, clinches, and flow drill screws to join aluminum panels without distorting them. Palletized fixtures, called geo-tools, hold parts in exact position. Vision systems measure hole patterns and flange fit before each join. Sparks are rare here. Instead, you'll hear the staccato pop of riveters and the steady hum of adhesive pumps. Sub-assemblies, inner door shells, floor pans, roof bows, converge into complete bodies in white. A coordinate measuring station samples units, confirming geometry down to fractions of a millimeter, so door gaps and panel flushness will look right later. Next stop, the paint shop, where cleanliness is everything. The raw body is washed, degreased, and dipped through a multi-stage pretreatment tunnel to improve corrosion resistance. The cathodic electrocoat, called E-coat, applies an even protective layer inside seams and hidden cavities. After oven cure, techs apply seam sealer and NVH pads to block moisture and hush road noise. Then comes primer for stone chip durability, base coat for color, and clear coat for gloss and UV protection. Each layer is robot sprayed with precise film thickness, while the body spins on a rotisserie for even coverage. Cured once more, the shell moves through a polished booth, where trained eyes and hand blocks remove any dust nibs. A final paint inspection tunnel, flooded with angled light, reveals only what passes as showroom grade. While paint cures, the chassis comes alive. On the frame line, robotic cells and skilled associates install cross members, engine mounts, suspension brackets, and the rear axle. Front suspension modules, control arms, knuckles, and coil-over or torsion components arrive pre-built from feeder lines. Brake lines are routed and clipped. Shielding is placed where heat and abrasion could attack. The fuel tank, exhaust system, and heat shields follow. Each fastener hits its torque spec with digitally controlled tools that record every click for traceability. If a nut or bolt falls outside the programmed window, the line stops until it's fixed. Powertrain marriage is the moment the truck gets its heart. Engines arrive dressed with alternators, pumps, and intake plumbing. Transmissions are fitted with torque converters and range selectors. The engine, transmission, and transfer case, where equipped, lower onto the frame as a single module. Drive shafts are balanced, then installed. Cooling modules, radiator, condenser, intercooler where applicable, drop into a front-end carrier. Fluids are added in a precise sequence: engine oil, coolant, transmission fluid, differential lube. A vacuum fill system pulls air out of coolant passages to prevent trapped bubbles that could cause hotspots later. Meanwhile, in trim, the painted cab meets its interior. Sound-deadening mats line the floor. A pre-loomed wiring harness, tested electrically before arrival, snaps into routing clips, connecting front to rear. HVAC units, pedals, and steering columns go in. Insulation panels, headliners, and pillar trims follow. Seats arrive as complete modules with airbag connectors and occupancy sensors verified before bolt down. The instrument panel, fully populated with infotainment, vents, and wiring, indexes into the cab with a single lift. Quality gates scan barcodes and confirm build content so the right options land on the right truck. Glazing robots lay a perfect urethane bead and set the windshield and rear glass. Doors, already painted and built with window regulators, belt seals, and latch systems, are hung to the cab. A laser alignment system checks door fit. Hinge bolts are nudged until gaps and flush meet target. Mirrors, handles, and weather strips finish the openings. The bed, painted to match, is lowered onto the frame and bolted down with isolators that control vibration. Tail lamps and tailgate hardware, including assist struts and latch cables, complete the box. Now trim, chassis, and final assembly converge on the same line. Front clips, grille, headlamps, bumper fascia are installed. Wheels and tires are mounted and torqued in a star pattern. Lug torque is logged automatically. The battery is connected, and the F-150 powers up for the first time. Software flashes load the truck's personality. Engine and transmission calibrations, driver assist features, infotainment settings, paired to the VIN. Advanced driver assistance sensors are calibrated. A target board aligns the front camera. Radar units are checked for angle and range. Parking sensors are tested for correct zone alerts. Fluids are verified under pressure, and the truck heads to dynamic test. On the rolling road, the powertrain cycles through simulated driving, idle, part throttle, highway speed. The dyno monitors wheel torque, shift quality, and ABS function. A brake burnish routine seats pads to rotors. An NVH booth listens for wind leaks, droning tires, or driveline vibration. Any anomaly sends the truck to a diagnostic bay where specialists zero in with acoustic probes and chassis gauges. Next comes the water test, a brutal monsoon of controlled spray patterns that attack every seam. Roof, cowl, doors, bed rails, tailgate. Associates inspect the interior for even a single drop. Weather strips are adjusted if needed, drains are cleared, and the truck repeats the test until it's dry inside. A headlight aimer aligns beam cutoffs to legal spec. Wheel alignment sets camber, caster, and toe to ensure straight tracking and even tire wear. In the audit area, a master inspector goes panel by panel under high CRI light. Paint finish, gap uniformity, fastener witness marks, interior fit. Everything is scored. A paint depth gauge checks clear coat thickness. A scan tool confirms that every control unit reports the correct software level with 0 diagnostic trouble codes. Build sheets, torque logs, and calibration records are linked to the VIN so the truck's digital history is complete before it ever sees the road. Finally, protective films wrap vulnerable surfaces. The F-150 rolls off the line under its own power to shipping. Some will travel by conveyor to a loading ramp, then onto rail cars. Others will ride in closed carriers bound for dealers. Each truck leaves not as a collection of parts, but as a validated system. Frame, body, powertrain, electronics, working together under the standards that define a modern pickup. From bare shell to keys in the ignition, this is how a Ford F-150 is built. Repeatable processes, measured down to the last Newton meter, verified at every gate, and tuned so that when you press the start button, everything simply works. That's the promise of the factory and the journey you've just seen. A full tour from blank metal to road-ready truck.